Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to be with you today, especially all of you 8th graders out there, because we're talking about something that is going to completely level up your skills. We're looking at articulating the essence, the art of paraphrasing and summarizing. Seriously, you can think of this as the master key to your entire writing tool belt. Whether you're tackling some massive research paper, drafting an essay, or literally just trying to explain a really complex idea to a friend, these are the exact techniques that'll make you sound like an absolute pro.
Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap for today. We'll start with 1, mastering your writing tools. Then 2, why these skills matter. We'll follow that up with 3, how to use them. 4, let's look at examples. 5, test your knowledge. And we'll wrap it all up with 6, education with true purpose. Let's jump right in.
All right, starting off with Section 1, mastering your writing tools. Think about it like this. A master builder wouldn't show up to construct a house with just a hammer, right? Well, you can't show up to your writing assignments with only one way of explaining things either. You need distinct, specialized tools for different jobs to make sure your communication is totally crystal clear. And our first major tool is paraphrasing. This is simply restating ideas in your own words. It means taking someone else's brilliant thought, or maybe a really specific detail, and explaining it in a completely fresh, original way. You're basically acting like a translator. You keep the exact same core idea and the exact same level of detail, but you're putting your own unique fingerprint on the language. Now, sitting right next to that in your tool belt is summarizing. This is all about condensing ideas down to the essentials. So if paraphrasing is about translating the details, summarizing is the skill of taking a massive, towering block of text and distilling it down to only its most vital main points. It's all about finding the absolute core of the message and just trimming away all the extra fluff. I actually love this camera lens analogy to show the difference. Paraphrasing explains details in a fresh way, so it stays zoomed right in on the subject. Summarizing, on the other hand, distills the text to its main points. It zooms way, way out. You're going to want to use a paraphrase when you love a specific detail, but really need to make it your own. But you use a summary when you just need to give the big picture. Now, I want to hit pause for a second here, because honestly, good communication, it's not just some neat trick to score an A on your next paper. It goes so much deeper than that. Just look at this beautiful verse from Colossians 4:6. Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. Learning how to handle other people's words accurately, fairly, and clearly, which is exactly what paraphrasing and summarizing are all about, is actually a foundational spiritual act of grace. It's really about being intentional with your words. Moving on to Section 2, why these skills matter. So, we've talked about the high-level purpose, but what's the practical payoff? Mastering these tools does 4 massive things for you, directly in your daily schoolwork. First off, it actually proves to your teachers that you understand what you've read, rather than just copying it like a parrot. Second, and guys, this one is huge, it helps you completely avoid the trap of plagiarism. Stealing someone else's work is a serious academic offense, and these tools keep you safe. Third, it makes your writing so much clearer. And finally, it trains you to communicate effectively, not just sitting in a classroom, but out there in the real world. Okay, on to Section 3, how to use them. We know what they are and why we need them, so let's get into the how. Here is your exact mechanical formula for executing a perfect paraphrase the next time you're staring at a blank document. Step 1, change the sentence structure. If the original sentence puts the subject right at the beginning, try moving it to the end. Just flip it around. Step 2, change the vocabulary. Break out those synonyms. Find new, robust words to replace the old ones. But, and listen closely because this is absolutely crucial, Step 3, keep the meaning exactly the same. The original author's intent has to remain completely untouched. You're really just giving it a new outfit. Now, contrasting that with summarizing. When you summarize, you kind of have to be a bit ruthless. You focus only on the main points. You absolutely must leave out the minor details. I mean, no matter how interesting they are, if they aren't essential, they get cut. Because of that, a summary is always going to be much, much shorter than the original text. You are boiling the whole thing down to its absolute essence. All right, Section 4, let's look at examples. Let's pull this out of the clouds and actually see it in action. Listen to this original sentence. The sun set behind the mountains, painting the sky orange. Okay, now here is the paraphrase. The sky turned orange as the sun disappeared behind the mountains. Do you see what happened there? The structure completely flipped. We started with the sky instead of the sun.
The vocabulary changed, set became disappeared, but that beautiful mental picture? Perfectly preserved. That right there is a 10 out of 10 paraphrase. Okay, let's switch gears and look at a summary. Our original text has highly specific details. In the meeting, they discussed budget cuts, school repairs, and new sports programs. If we zoom way out to summarize, it becomes the meeting covered finances, facilities, and athletics. We took those really specific details and just condensed them right down into broad, essential categories. It's shorter, it's punchier, and it gives you the exact gist of the meeting without dragging you deep into the weeds. Let's do just one more paraphrase, just to really lock it in. Original: eating breakfast improves focus in school. Paraphrase: having breakfast helps students concentrate better during class. Switching up simple everyday words, like changing eating to having, or improves focus to helps concentrate, it creates a totally fresh sentence that completely respects what the original author meant to say. All right, we're on to section 5. Test your knowledge. Okay, 8th graders, it is challenge time. Let's make sure you're completely ready to ace those official homework assignments. Question 1. What is the difference between paraphrasing and summarizing? For this one, I want you immediately picture that camera lens analogy we were talking about earlier. Paraphrasing stays zoomed right in, keeping all the details but just changing the words. Summarizing zooms way out, cutting the details to only give you the big picture. Moving to question 2. When should you use a paraphrase instead of a summary? Well, think about your main purpose as a writer. Are you trying to share a really specific, interesting detail from an author, but you need it to fit smoothly into your own writing style? That is exactly when you paraphrase. But if you just need to tell your reader what a whole 5-page article was generally about, that's definitely a summary. Here's question 3. Give an example of a short summary for a paragraph about recycling. I'd really encourage you to practice your skills here. Imagine a super long paragraph listing all the different types of plastics, the names of the complex sorting machines, and the exact dates recycling was invented. A summary would leave all those minor details out and say something simple like, recycling is a vital process that sorts and reuses materials to protect our environment. Boom! Main point delivered, minor details gone. And to wrap up the quiz, here are your final 2 questions. Why is it important to avoid plagiarism, and what is one benefit of summarizing? I want you to reflect back on our whole discussion about why these skills matter. Plagiarism, it isn't just breaking a school rule. It's misrepresenting yourself and literally taking credit for someone else's hard work. And summarizing? Well, its superpower is brevity. It trains you to find the core truth quickly and communicate it without wasting anybody's time. And finally, section 6. Education with true purpose. So, we've pretty much nailed the academic side today. But why are we really here, learning how to use our words so carefully? Well, this is the foundational philosophy behind everything we do here in the Smart Academy Godly Learners series. We are actively intertwining biblical morality with education. Why? Because education without morality will hurt. You can have all the vocabulary in the entire world, and you can know perfectly how to construct an essay. But if that academic smartness isn't paired with a foundation of making good, moral, godly choices, it ultimately leads to a really empty and often painful place. Just look at the amazing promise given to us in Romans 8:6-7. It promises true, deep peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. Your academic diligence, learning to communicate with grace, avoiding plagiarism, seeking out the truth, it is deeply connected to this. When you align your mind with the Spirit, your education becomes this incredible tool for good, bringing peace to yourself and to everyone around you. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a powerful question to chew on this week. What is the point of being smart and supposedly educated if you continue to make bad choices that hurt yourself and others? True education is about transforming your mind and your heart. So take these tools, use them with grace, and let your learning be guided by wisdom. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you all next time.